As children, we often look at the rules our mothers set and see a cage. We hear their constant worries and interpret them as criticism, an attempt to limit who we are before we've even had a chance to start. But there is a hidden layer to that strictness. 5 legendary movie mothers offer a window into what was actually being communicated in those moments of tension. Underneath the superficial rules and pressure, we find a different motivation. Anger is often responsibility. Constant noise is the hope a child navigates life safely. Maternal greatness disguises itself as restriction. It acts as a primary defense to ensure the child survives. In Terms of Endearment, Emma viewed Aurora's constant, sharp warnings as a sign of disappointment. To her, every question about her marriage or her kids was just another way for her mother to say, "You are failing." But Aurora was watching the wall for cracks before it even started to fall. She felt the wound before Emma was ready to admit she was bleeding. That aggressive anger was actually grief arriving early, the sound of a storm door rattling loudly to keep a gale from getting inside. We see this same friction in Steel Magnolias. Shelby resented Malin's suffocating fear regarding her health. To a daughter wanting a normal life, that caution felt like an anchor preventing her from ever truly living. What Shelby saw as fear was actually the secret bargain. It's the silent pact a mother tries to make with the universe, praying that any pain or danger passes through her own body before it ever reaches her child. When that bargain fails, the result is a specific kind of endurance. For Malin, grief is the daily act of waking up and remembering that her child is no longer in the world, yet finding a way to keep standing regardless. In both stories, we see that maternal love can be loud, difficult, and embarrassing. It is a desperate shield raised by someone who knows exactly how much the world can hurt. In Little Women, Jo March viewed Marmee's constant guidance as an attempt to tame her spirit. She thought independence meant needing no one, and saw her mother's gentleness as a threat to her ambition. Marmee's goal was never to arrange Jo's destiny. She was building Jo's inner furniture, the character and conscience required to ensure that Jo's wild passions didn't eventually lead to her own destruction. This preservation of the spirit becomes a matter of survival in room. Young Jack believed that his mother was simply creating games and magical stories out of the mundane objects in their tiny locked shed. In reality, Ma was performing an exhausting psychological labor. She was manufacturing an infinite blue sky inside a literal cage, ensuring Jack's mind stayed larger than the walls around him. A mother's role extends beyond physical safety. She is tasked with protecting the child's hope. She works to ensure the child believes that life is still good, even when the immediate world suggests otherwise. Forced routines and repetitive lessons are the blueprints for an unbreakable psychological architecture. They are the tools that will eventually save the child when they finally have to stand alone. In The Blind Side, Michael Oher's initial guardedness makes sense. When a child has been abandoned, sudden kindness feels like a threat because you never know when it will end or what it will eventually cost. Leigh Anne made the choice to stop driving when most people keep going. She refused to treat Michael as a temporary project, choosing instead to involve herself in the difficult, daily details of his life. This is motherhood defined as a deliberate responsibility. It is a bond formed not by blood, but by the choice to remain present and reliable, day after day. True motherhood provides a new, permanent shelter. It doesn't ignore the trauma of the past. It simply ensures that the child's future is no longer defined by it. These 5 mothers represent the immense pressure of raising a child while being deeply, realistically flawed. They are not saints. They are humans trying to hold back the world with their own hands. There is a tragic delay in this realization. Most of us don't have the emotional maturity to understand what our mothers were carrying until we reach adulthood ourselves, or until they are gone. But that protection eventually takes a new form. It becomes the enduring voice, a permanent psychological echo that lives inside the child's mind long after the mother is physically absent. It is the voice that reminds us to be careful, to keep going, and to come home when we are lost. It is the internal compass that tells us we are still loved. Quiet, final tone. The final grace of this relationship is the moment when the child, now grown and facing the world on their own terms, finally answers back across the years to say,